Rotary encoders come in all different shapes and sizes. You can have ones without a push button, ones with a push button, ones with a circuit board, ones without a circuit board, short ones, tall ones, and many other variables like detents and cycles. Once you get to work with these, you'll notice them everywhere, from your car radio to your kitchen timer. Heck, you'll even notice one on the 3D printer. Notice these two things right here are not rotary encoders. This first one is a potentiometer, or a variable resistor. You'll notice that its travel is very smooth. It's actually an analog electronic, and the wiring here won't apply. Oh, and this is just a Lego. You'll notice on most rotary encoders you find there are 5 pins. There are 3 pins here, 2 pins here, and 2 pins across from each other here. To make this simpler for you, we're actually just going to cut these 2 off. These 2 pins are actually just to provide support. So that takes us from 7 down to 5. These 3 control the twisting action, and these 2 control the clicking action. These pins on the outside are pin A and pin B. This pin in the middle is pin C, and the C stands for common, or ground. A rotary encoder more or less works by shoving a signal through these 2 wires if you turn it this way, and these 2 wires if you turn it this way. And if you press the encoder's button, it'll send a signal through here. Keep in mind this is a very simple explanation. That makes the wiring of a rotary encoder as follows. Over on this side we have pin A, pin B, and pin C. I made this look slightly like a G because it's actually the ground pin. You can use common and ground basically interchangeably. First, let's start off with ground. These 2 ground pins attach to each other and go to the ground pin on the Arduino. You can plug these in separately to the ground port on your Arduino, or you can connect your wires together and put them into a single connection. Pin A will go to a pin you assign in MobiFlight, and so will pin B. In my case, I'm going to use pin 2 for A, 3 for B. You can also connect a wire for the switch. The switch also goes to a pin on your Arduino, but it has a slightly different configuration. This all looks good on paper, but what does it look like in real life? Glad you asked. Here is an Arduino Mega 2560. I would highly recommend using the Arduino Mega because it has so many more pins than the Pro Micro. Going off of our wiring diagram, I soldered some wires on. We have these 3 wires, A, B, and G, and these 2 wires, ground and a switch. These are interchangeable. You can switch these around. In fact, you can also switch these wires around, but it'll change the direction in your flight simulator. Going off of our little wiring diagram, the first wire to pin 2, the common to ground, the third wire to pin 3, so pin B to 3, the switch to pin 4, and then there's a last wire also to ground. I can't actually fit that, that's embarrassing, but what I can do instead is wrap it around right here to hit this ground. It actually didn't end up mattering in the end, I broke it off. So here's our wired rotary encoder. We haven't talked about the wiring of these with PCBs. Right here we actually have a ground pin, an A pin, a B pin, and a switch. You might have to look up a schematic online to get your wiring, but this is the wiring for most of these. If you look up close, you'll actually notice that there are little traces right here in the PCB. One of these pins is actually a ground pin right here. You'll notice right here, one of the button's pins goes over to the ground, but also one of the ground pins from the encoder also goes to the ground. So it's basically doing what we did before, where it bridges the gap between this ground and this ground behind, but all on a little PCB. That makes this wiring almost exactly the same, except only one ground pin. Try to make your A pin and your B pin next to each other in your configuration, because if you don't have them next to each other, SimVim won't accept it. MobiFlight will, but if you ever want to switch to SimVim down the road for any reason, you'll have to redo your wiring. We have all of the hardware done for this. Let's go into the computer and configure this. So we're going to open MobiFlight, and if you need any help downloading MobiFlight, FSX, and or Arduino, go check out the video I've done before this. We're going to start by flashing the Arduino board with our pinouts. This is so that MobiFlight knows that to pin 3 is a rotary encoder, to pin 2 is also a rotary encoder, and to pin 4, that's a switch. The way you do this is by going to Extras, Settings, and then the MobiFlight Modules tab. Right here is the Arduino Mega, and if you expand this, you'll notice we have a button and an output. You won't have either of these. These are things I've made in the past. You can add devices and remove them under this window. We're going to add a rotary encoder, and it actually auto-filled to the 2 lowest available pins, pins 2 and 3, and you can also select the type. I don't personally know what this type is, so I'm going to see if it works correctly and then fix it if it doesn't. You can name this, and I'm going to name this Timothy. Why Timothy? I don't know, that's just a cool name. Pin 4 is a button. Again, it auto-filled to the lowest available. And let's name this Frankie. We need to now upload this current configuration to the module because it hasn't yet figured out what it's going to do. Once you upload the configuration to the Arduino board, you can start using it with MobiFlight. The upload is finished, and we can just exit out of this window. Like, press OK. You'll notice we have an Output tab right here, and then an Input tab as well. Make sure you're on the Input tab, and you can add rotary encoders and switches. Right here, we're going to make our encoder Timothy. That is not how you spell Timothy. And then we're going to make this an altitude knob. I always like to activate the configuration right as I make it so that I don't forget and double check when I run it. If I then press Edit, preconditions are beyond the scope of this video, but I will talk about them later. In fact, the developer of MobiFlight talked about these in a video we did together. I'll link it to the description below and also give you a little timestamp. It's basically if you want to have a knob do one thing if this button is pressed, but do another if the button isn't pressed. If you're learning your first rotary encoder, I would definitely stick with the basics. We want to go over to the Input tab. The Input tab has your module, and since we only have one MobiFlight Mega connected, it's the only one. Our device is Timothy, the rotary encoder, and we have our input settings. On left, normal. On left, super fast. On right, normal. And on right, super fast. The fast settings are another thing to do and yet another area to make a mistake. So I always start with just the on left and on right. And if I find a need for a fast setting, I can go ahead and add it. The action type, you can select from this lovely list. The most common I use are FSUIPC offsets and event IDs. So just select FSUIPC offset. And I usually like to start out with a preset. And we're just going to use the COM standby frequency from the drop-down. It's way at the bottom. Click the little use button, and it'll auto-populate right here. The formula we're going to use for this is $+ 5. This will move the digit up 5 decimal places every time we make a click. But we're not done yet. We only assigned the left. Let's go ahead and assign the right. We're going to do the exact same thing, FSUIPC offset, and scroll all the way down to COM1 standby frequency. Use. And this one will be $-5. We can click OK. And now we can go ahead and click Run. And I just got an error that says connection to FSUIPC lost. If you get this error, you might consider installing the latest version of FSUIPC, making sure MobiFlight is up to date, and or uninstalling MobiFlight and reinstalling a clean version. Play around with Run as an administrator, both with MobiFlight and FSX. And finally, you'll want to make sure you don't have 2 copies of FSX, because sometimes it gets confused with which version of the same flight simulator it should go to. So I just clicked Run to test our configuration, and if we go over to the radio stack, whenever we make a click, it increases it by 5. I was really sneaky, and in between takes, I was playing around with the detent per cycle. You'll notice the detent per cycle is 1 detent per cycle, 0, 0, but before it was 1 detent per cycle, 1, 1. So I'm going to show you what it was like before. Now when I test this with the old detent per cycle, if I go over to Run and turn this knob, it clicks, 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 clicks. The other way, it didn't click, clicks, didn't, clicks, clicks, clicks. This is the complete wrong detent per cycle. Clicks, then clicks twice, clicks twice, clicks twice, clicks twice. It's going crazy. We don't know what to do. If it's going all wacky, choose a different detent per cycle, and that might help align it to the clicks, basically. What I did off camera was I added 2 wires, one to pin 4 and one to ground, and this will act as a switch. You'll notice I have this as a switch because I think it gives you a better visual for how the button works. There's actually a mechanism inside the button that connects the 2 wires, basically. Let's go ahead and make this button, just for fun. So we'll make it button, and I forgot its name already. Let's call it Frederick. I think it's just fun to give the button, like, character. So yeah, same as what we did last time. We click Edit, then go over to Module, and click MobiFlight Module. MobiFlight Mega. Under Device, oh, it's Frankie. Frankie button is our button we named. We're going to go on press, have an action happen, but since this is just a momentary button, we won't have anything happen on release. Think keyboard instead of light switch. If you press a button on your keyboard, it doesn't give you a W when you press it and a W when you release. It gives you one single W. I'm going to show you both methods, the FSUIPC and the event ID, because I think they're both very important. But if you go over action type and just click event ID, you have another whole list for inputs. These are inputs only, so just be mindful of that. And it has a whole drop-down. You can kind of get familiar with it over time and know that COM, all of the radio stuff, is right under C, and we want COM1 switch. I selected COM standby radio swap, and I'm hoping this will work. Click OK and press Run, and then you'll notice when we touch these 2 wires together, the frequency changes. It swaps. I found setting the parameter to 1 works best. So we click them together, it switches. When we release, nothing happens. When we click them together, it switches. When we release, nothing happens. So there you have it. Now you can use rotary encoders with FSX, Prepared, X-Plane, and FS2020. If you found this video helpful, you might also find this playlist of these MobiFlight tutorials helpful as well. I hope you have a fantabulous day, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a good one.